Alright. Here goes. More Kerbal Space Program. More career mode. More terrible, mundane launches. We're going to do something exciting, actually. We're going to find something exciting to do here. We've got quite a few active contracts. Several MUN rescues, which I'm thinking will probably not be happening tonight. Bum, 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 bum. This might actually go along with what we want to do. From 41,000 meters to 46,000 meters. Like a dead standstill. Let's see if we can close that out and then also do another test of our new command module. Our 3-man launcher has not yet been tested, which has me somewhat concerned. So instead of launching this on a full launch vehicle and really testing all that, I just want to test. We've already gotten it into space. I just want to know that the parachute system is sufficient. Everything else should be fine. We haven't tested re-entry, but that's a whole other thing. If we can do that, we can greatly expedite our crew qualification of the craft. So let's take some of this. Let's delete the fairing. We're going to get rid of this rocket we don't need. We're going to get rid of that. Actually, we're going to get rid of all that. We're going to get rid of these extra tanks from monoprop. Keep just a couple of batteries. Put just 2 of these tanks in, and we'll merge them a little closer to the center there, like that. So it has at least some liquid fuel on it. Okay. Beautiful. We're gonna use this as also a test platform for the Cubs. We might as well do 2 tests in one, because we need to test those in atmosphere. So we're gonna use those as kind of quick braking thrusters, though that might kind of defeat the purpose of the launcher, but that's fine. Whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work somehow. And then we're gonna just go with a insanely cheap launch method. Put a hammer on it. Put some have some deflection on them. Some controllable wing surfaces on there. I think this is ready to test. So we'll make sure we don't have any crew on board, because we know everyone likes to stow away. Alright. And we're going to just fire the main. And we're going to cut off bottom here. This pod separation will be way up here. And the drogues. And that one. And we have, of course, the Cubs we can activate at the desired altitude and speed. Hopefully. My chat window's not up. Put that back up. Alright, let's just see what happens now. We need to check the We need to be at Kerbin, flying altitude 41,000 meters to 46,000 meters, speed 60 meters a second to 260 meters a second. So, the stage pretty much will be entirely for altitude. But I'm now questioning how sufficient it will be. It's our apogee. Nowhere near what we wanted. Okay, good to know. Alright, well, secondary test, what I actually wanted out of this originally can still happen. Beautiful. Ditch all that off. That's gone. That's going for the ocean. Okay, now the question. I want to wait till dangerously low. Like a worst case scenario, parachute deploy. I'm going to wait till 5,000 meters. Kick the drogues on. Make sure we're going at a recklessly high speed. Oh, look, an eclipse. That's beautiful timing. Look at the eclipse over there. Actually daytime right now on Kerbin. Oh, we're way lower than I expected. Okay, drogues. Oh, that's right. The drone core is in the stage below this. That's not gonna work. Well, we achieved neither of our targets, neither of our goals. Let's try the same thing. Wow, that went all the way to the ocean floor. That's impressive. Put this on a larger booster. Let's see if we can accomplish both missions. This time, though, we're going to disable this staging. And we're going to try and make it land with all this extra weight. And then see what happens. If we can manage that, then we will be in very good shape. And then we don't have to be so crazy about trying to land at some, or deploy at some crazy specific time here. Okay, we got stabilizer wings. We got para-launch towers. We're gonna make sure we don't have any crew in here. Good. Launch. If 2 drogues and a main are enough for this thing, then I will be happy. We will move on. And we will start getting Kerman on the station immediately. If I can flight test this. Satisfactory. To satisfactory levels, I mean. Satisfactorily. Whatever. Words. Something. Whatever, you all know what I mean. And hopefully this gets us high enough to test the Cub. It's really cool that you end up with solar eclipses still in this. That is really cool. Kerbal never ceases to amaze me. Yeah, we're still not going to get to the height we need to test the Cubs sufficiently. KSC. Get rid of the booster. That is so cool. I'm just fascinated by the eclipse over there. Okay, so we want to get to reckless speeds, is how I want to describe this. This is going to be to simulate how much we would be accelerating after a potential re-entry. Which, I'm not sure how much really 20 ablator does for us. Okay, so now going quite fast. Let's try those drogues. So at this point, this would still be a deadly landing. We still have to wait for the main to deploy. Now once it deploys, I might kick this bottom off and just see what happens as well. Just for good measure. Okay, there's the main. Taking us right down to a fairly safe speed. Well, very little of that apparently was the drone core for weight. So now let's see if this lands safely. 8.6 is a little bit steep. It's a little bit of a heavy landing. Well, it did still make it. It did seem just a little rough, didn't it? I wonder, do Kerbals add any weight when they're in there compared to when they're not for a module? I'll have to find out, I guess. Oh, the liner harness. There we go. Okay. Here's the real McCoy. There's the K5 in our launch vehicle here. Now, just to play it extra safe, because that did seem a little rough, I could put 3 drogues on instead. Let's get a crew up there. Let's see, we've got some scientists we can go throwing that way. We've got Dunson, Ronner, and Cabin. I think we can get these guys up on the station. Let's just make sure we time the launch correctly this time. All right, so our target the Jebediah Kerman Station, which is actually coming around, which is good. Our test vessel is also catching up to it somewhat. So I'm going to wait till it's right about, let's say, here. And then let's launch us. Got an applause from Dunson. He's happy to be in the pilot seat right now. Not our most experienced pilot, but should suffice for this mission. Get his flight wings, get his astronaut wings going. Booster separation. Now, 10,000 meters. We'll start nosing over. So this using our K5 rocket, which is designed to get 5-ton payloads into orbit. With some form of cost efficiency. Just a minimal amount. Just a little bit of weird control. Dunson's having trouble keeping it steady, but that's okay. I'm here for him. There you go, bud. Now we're on to the next stage. I'm going to start shallowing out, I think, a little more at this point. Inefficient version of a gravity turn. We're at a safe altitude. I think we can ditch the fairing. That's a little less weight for us to try and push to orbit. That's always good. looking not so bad. Start planning our maneuver to get to orbit. And also our rendezvous at the same time. A little more tweaking later. And this is going to require us staging. And then firing the craft's engines to complete. This will be a .48 or 2 minute 48 second, I should say, burn time, which is less than ideal. Not very good to have a long burn time like that, but we're gonna roll with it. We'll be all right. Didn't expect that this is up. Didn't see that one coming. So 1 minute 24 seconds away is where we're going to start our burn. Actually, let that slide a little bit. We can get it closer to 1 minute, I think, because I am going to be activating RCS and having those help us. Let's get just a little closer. Do all our burning prograde as well, rather than right on maneuver node. So we'll go full throttle 1 minute out from maneuver node. The end of that stage. Watch our monoprop carefully, make sure we're not burning too much of it. At least 10 units, 15 units maybe for eventual running maneuvers. That are firing into the solar panels. Just to make sure we're getting the most out of our burn here. Orbit. At that point, I'm going to kick off the RCS system. No longer need the help from it. cool. Next orbit has a 4.3 intercept, which is good. See what the major differences there are. A little bit in timing, a little bit in ascending descending node. So we'll go ahead, we'll set that up here. Get these guys off to the station quickly. This is positive, negative. That'll get us down to 2.9 already. So we can do some other maneuvers here to just make that a little better. Some of it looked like it was going to be timing. 0.9 looks pretty good. Looks like that was our sweet spot. .3 though. Okay. Yep. So we got a small 10.9 meter a second adjustment. And on our first orbit, we'll be coming back around and linking up to the station here. So first crew launch to the station looks pretty good so far. Let's see what Dunson's looking at. He's got a tiny little window down there. Okay, so tiny little window is forward. Blocked window is right. I need to figure that out. And of course, he's got his comrades there, sitting very cramped. Our scientists. They look kind of excited. Let's see, let's fast forward us to that maneuver. Or close to it anyway. So it's a 5-second maneuver, so we're going to wait till 2 seconds before it to start burning. We level out the burn across the node. Get as accurate as possible. A little bit of correction. Hopefully a very easy engine to correct with. These don't have a lot of thrust. And our actual intersect is at 0.3. So that's pretty darn good. I like this. We're on a very similar orbit as is because we did take off very close to the window. Very near a dead ringer, aside from the lower periaps. So our maneuver to match target speed won't be that difficult. We'll have a pretty easy time of it. Or at least it seems like we will. We'll have to see. Should be switched over to target maneuvering now at this point. And 59.7, so we said 10 meters. 10 meters roughly took us 5 seconds. So we're talking about a 30-second burn at full throttle. Retrograde to target. Which Dunson seems to be learning his deal because he can now aim retrograde. Can aim retrograde to target. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So when the maneuver node is, which is a blank maneuver node, when it is 15 seconds away, we will start to match our maneuver to our target speed. Which I don't even see the station. I don't know where it is exactly relative to us right now. Should be catching up to us at this point. Oh, there we are. Right there. There's the Jebediah's Kerman station. Dunson thinks he's got this maneuver, so I'm going to let him have it. You did pretty good. You did actually really good. Good job, Dunson. I need to aim ourselves directly at the station. It's just a little speed towards it. Not a ton. So we're already quite close. Dunson proving himself to be a fine pilot. And our first crew to the Jeb Kerman station, a crew of scientists, will actually help us load up the science lab there and get it operational. So there is a pair of docking rings on the Jeb Kerman station. Oh, this is nice and steady for RCS. I like that. That is no problem at all. But as I was saying, there is there's a pair of docking rings. One for the fuel tanks at the front, and one for crew and modules at the back. We're gonna go for the ones at the back. So we'll get nice and close, and we'll be able to start picking out where we're gonna dock. I'm going to start to decelerate now. Now, yeah, there we go. Now we'll switch to the station. We got enough room, enough clearance that we can aim the station prograde, auto aim it prograde. So we can actually have a reference of up and down and know what's going on here. Alright, so we're going to be in position to dock to the underside of the station. Perfect. So yeah, we'll pick out that node at the bottom. Yep. Set as target. We'll control from here, so we're now anticipating being in reverse for this maneuver, because we do dock in reverse on this craft, which is a little strange, but should be easy to get used to when I'm not trying to rely on visual instead of my docking node. There we go. Yeah, the docking node thankfully makes that nice and easy. So we want to go a little towards the station. going to get us. Yep. Perfect. So, when docking, if you look at my maneuver node down at the bottom, we've got the pink marker, which is the actual docking target itself, in between our current orange indicator and the yellow prograde indicator. So having prograde on the opposite side of it means that we're going to be sliding into position, and then we will have to cancel that movement when we get into alignment. We're going to start to slow that down a little bit. Cool. We're pretty well aligned at this point. According to the docking node, we can slow down a little bit so we don't dock too fast. Dock nice and easy. Nice and easy, Dunson. Take us in, buddy. Actually looking really good. Look at that. Nice, easy dock on Dunson's first try, and the first try for the for the space program. Docking at night, no less. So now we can go ahead. We can transfer some crew up. We want to transfer scientists to the science module, to the lab. Cabin. Can move up in there. And we can transfer crew once more. We can put Dunson inside of one of the habitation modules, just so he can take a break. He earned it. He did a wonderful job today. Textbook docking maneuver. All right. Now, we can go and flip through them, see how they're doing. Dunson is doing okay in his HAB module. And then you've got our scientists in the lab here. We've got a lot going on for science. I don't know why this is spinning out of control. Don't spin out of control, Jebediah Kerman Station. Don't do that. It's struggling to align itself with prograde at the moment. Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. We're coming into sunrise here. Very cool. Now let's see if there's anything I can do with this this lab. Start research. So they will need to take some kind of science readings to actually do that. They don't have any real science at the moment, I don't think. What do I have for experiments up here? I don't think I have much on this station. All the experiments are on wow. Experiments are on the moon station. On the Valentina Kerman station. Yeah, wow, I really don't have anything for experiments on here, do I? Do I have anything on the old science module? No temperature scans or nothing. Wow. Maybe poor planning on my part. But nevertheless, that is really cool. That we finally have crew on board. Now we will get still the backup craft backup return craft in position, hopefully. Start figuring out how we can rendezvous that with the station as well. Yeah, it's been quite a while until that's gonna fly. Yeah, it's not gonna work for us at all. Yep, he needs to get just a little closer still. Alright, and we still have our reusable lander craft, which we need to start doing our lunar injection burn on. Get that off to the moon station. Speaking of science and speaking of the moon station. Are we aiming retrograde or prograde? I forget at this point. We want to, what about here? Going for a moon encounter. What I figured out is if I get if I get an interaction late like that, yes, okay, so that'd be like a free return for the booster, so it comes back and smashes into Kerbin. That's what we want, because we are going to stage through that fuel. Oh, okay. Forgot I did that. Both these are upside down. Take it. Yep. So if I control from here. Yep, these are upside down. So that's why we're aiming retrograde. Okay, that makes sense. Just wanted to verify. And we are going to pump just a little bit of fuel. Over to this craft. Over to the lower stage. So we can complete this burn all on one stage and send the booster careening back to Kerbin. Even though it does have these fancy little guys, it won't really be needed. So actually on that note, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put those up on a different stage. We won't even bother to activate those. So we got a 49-second burn. We're gonna want to wait till 25 seconds before our actual maneuver. Why is this having us point the wrong way? Ah. Okay. The maneuver doesn't understand which way our engine's facing. So we're going to have to kind of bullshit it a little bit. That's unfortunate. So again, fast forwarding to about 25 seconds. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, what is happening? What the hell? What would make that happen? This is not a lopsided craft. Why would that happen? Hey. Control yourself a little bit here. What the... Okay. This is getting really frustrating. Just focus on the target. Stop trying to fight me. Burn. What? So why did it do that? I don't even understand why it did that. Now we're late to the burn. I just really don't understand what happened there. How it started flipping around like that. Correction burn. Oh, that is way off. That's not what we wanted at all, is it? No, we don't get that free return at all. So we are going to end up putting those back on, that's for sure. Whatever fuel is left back in to the lander. So the lander can do the rest of its maneuvers on its own. This is on its way. 1 day away. And those retro boosters better deorbit it, or I will be quite upset. Alright, now. Minmus probe. How's Minmus probe doing? This probe is still 3 days away from its maneuver. Wow. It's probably at least getting a good view of everything from where it's at. Now there is one more slightly crazier thing I needed to try and do today. And that's to build the craft to go between the Jeb station, the Jebediah Kermit station, and Kerbin orbit, and the Jebediah, or sorry, let me start over. The craft to go between the Jebediah Kerbin orbit station and the Valentina Kerman Mun orbit station. There we are. Those are the words I was looking for. So I'm going to put an adapter tank at the bottom of this thing, because this is never going to deorbit. It's just going to go, or at least throughout its operational life, and definitely with no Kerman on board. So this thing basically, it's just going to be a transporter between two stations. Going to be its whole function. So there's the passenger section. We need also to track the tonnage on it when we do all this. Clypatron Jr. on there. Plenty of RCS. Tuck those in under. Four solar panels will probably do fine. Oh, just a little more tilted. I should probably use the repackable for those, huh? That's kind of a waste of time. Kind of goofy. Let's put them let's get rid of those for a second. Figure these solar panels out. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we can focus on getting monoprop taken care of. tanks then. Clip the windows. Alright, plenty of RCS. We will probably put more on still. We do need a service bay of some kind. Probably this one. Put a drone core in there just in case. Never know what's going to happen. So we'll put a hex core in there. Put a big inline stabilizer on there. Smaller one in here, maybe. No. Let's put a battery instead. Let's put these big honking batteries in there. Just need to push them back a little bit. There we go. Plenty of battery. Now we want to go back up in tank size. Crazy looking craft so far. That's kind of what I expected. We are now at our weight limit as well. We haven't even put the engine on. And we're still missing a few things here. I want to put a full-size belly docking port just in case. But more likely, I think I'm going to need, I'm going to need to like launch a kind of adapter for the Jeb station. So right now it only has those style, and I don't know if that's really going to work for us here. Top, put the comms. Could be crazy and use that one. It kind of gets in the way. Use this one. Be fine. Don't need it to relay anything. More monoprop at the bottom here. Let's get rid of that tank. Put a pair of small ones on. There we go. Keeps the color theming more consistent. And we're going to put our most efficient engine we can pick at the moment, which is our Wolfhound engine. We are pretty much at our tonnage limit at this point, aren't we? We can put the shroud on. Yeah, these are definitely not the problem. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens if I load this one empty. Launch it empty. because it will be refueling between stations. What else could we need? We need the actual RCS thrusters. That's one thing. Let's put a pair here. Here. Then we need a set to stabilize. Here at the nose. Like that. More stabilizers there. This thing is a little bit on the crazy side. Anything else I need to give it? I don't know if radiators will be a thing. Could give it one. Just to see. I don't really think it's going to be necessary at all, actually. Well, I'll just put the rest of it as fuel then. See how it comes out with the fairing. Just thinking to myself, I wish I maybe had a larger tank, if anything. For moon transfer, I feel like that's probably still going to be sufficient. If I put any more, it might start getting kind of awkward to launch. Put a T-18 decoupler. Nice little booster section. Well, nice straight fairing at the very least. That much is definitely true. Now, the tricky part to this. I need to move these batteries down a little bit. I can see the hex core. To reroute all this to core, to auto strut, okay, we can still get a little bit more fuel. There we go. I think I will take name suggestions for this guy, if anyone comes up with any. Let's see, we want a K-15G2, 15-ton launcher. It's used to launching really absurd payloads like this one. Thing is, if I go and launch this now... Oh yeah, I do have a way to dock it with the station now. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and launch this sucker. Oh, check the staging too. Not bad. There's gonna be crew in this, isn't there? There's gonna be a bunch of crewmen in here. I know them. They like to stow away. Newstead? What the heck, dude? Alright, we are going to recover this real quick. I'm going to launch it again, make sure there's no Kermit in it. So far, so good. This will be a little strange, to say the least. But very vital to our plan. Tried and true, heavily tested 15-ton launcher is looking pretty good so far. Still our heaviest launch vehicle to date. Getting a significant amount of aerodynamic resistance compared to normal though. It does bode well for the concerns about it being overweight. Now get to 10,000 meter mark where we really want to be pitching over. We are still getting the unusual roll we tend to get every time we use this craft. That's fine. We know it's there and we can use it. Just fine. Way. Easier to aim now. So aiming us directly horizontal. And I, again, didn't bother to time our launch station now, which was a bad decision. So we're going to let us get to a 90,000 meter orbit. Right now, because we're in atmosphere, it's going to read a very unrealistic amount of time that we need to burn. But once we get to space, it'll tell us the true time that we need to burn. 57 seconds. Not actually that bad. Aim, auto aim to prograde. This is drone controlled, so we can start putting out solar panels just to make sure we maintain our power. We should actually get to orbit with the second stage. That's actually not what I was hoping for. Dump some fuel into the craft itself and see if that helps. Really need to start burning. Alright. Just about. Okay. And stage. Well, that worked out pretty good. I'm gonna wait until... So I have the retros in there, I don't. Wait till I start seeing periaps. Start hitting above the horizon. Okay, yep, good. We're gonna stage a little early. There we go. Nice low orbit, so we can eventually catch up to the station. And we're back into that, playing that game. Actually, we really want the station to catch up with us, don't we? Because it's behind us. Oh. So let's raise our G significantly. Some tiny maneuvers to put us in position here. Fortunately, we're not managing the level of accuracy that I intended. 0.4 is pretty good, though. We're going to come in screaming at a totally different rate here. So matching will be a challenge. We've got a lot of fuel in order to try and pull that off. Interesting little craft. This will be our 4-man transport in between both space stations. 34 minutes. Yep, we're gonna warp there. So we're gonna slow way down. Right there. And that's gonna let the Jeb station catch up to us. This is going to be an absurd maneuver that we're gonna have to do right here. So we're gonna target, retrograde target. We've got 315 meters a second of delta V to try and cancel out. Nope, don't cancel warp. Cancel warp. Thank you. Add maneuver, please. That's what I wanted. Alright. So this has how much thrust? I have a feeling it's going to take like more than the 30 seconds. Let's do 15 seconds out and just see what happens. See how we can do this. Not really more than that. Let's just start now. Actually, maybe not. Maybe we're not so bad. I do love this engine sometimes. Okay, now we're gonna have to do some fine maneuvering. That actually wasn't so bad. Okay, now I want to aim directly at the target. Start trying to close the distance here. Try to do it rapidly. Since we've got a strong engine, we can kind of risk it a little bit and just make it more efficient for us to get there without a million maneuvers. Actually looking really good. Hello! Thank you for joining. Just in time to see our new moon transfer vehicle mate for the first time with the Kerbal space station we have here, the Kerbin space station. So this will be tasked with going in between both stations. Lots of fun. I should have not put such a thrust limiter on that. There we go. Perfect. Pretty much just switch over to RCS at this point. So we do want to find a good place for this docking port here. This is the reserve docking port. I am going to try and put an adapter up so we can use our nose docking port on the Jeb station later. So let's see, what would actually be the easiest to try and dock with at this point on the Jeb station? We've got our command pod at the bottom here. Let's just put this into prograde just so I can have my moment of glory. There we go. So let's see, we've got this rear docking port. That might be feasible. These two really not, because they're receded. I think the easiest is going to be the science lab or the rear crew module docking port. So I think I'm in position more or less already for the science module docking port, although that's going to just further tip the weight off. So Maybe I should go for the... Yeah, let's go for the crew quarter. Rear docking hatch. We'll do a control from here. And we'll set that as our target. Docking mode, turn RCS on. Okay. So now I gotta think of it from the standpoint of this docking port. So we'd want to go up, down. Okay, had it in reverse, but reverse is better than having the wrong axes. So let's just get our maneuver node into view, and then it'll be much easier. As we pass over it, our maneuver point should come into view. Yep, there it is. Really love how it's wasting RCS to wobble like that. It's really lovely. Almost in line with us. Okay, so we have one axis lined up. It's a little bit of an extreme. Okay, RCS can chill for a second. RCS is being kind of strange. Actually, the whole thing is just still wobbling. That's what I'm not getting. Be a bad place to put that port. Let's control from here. And then I have an idea of what I'm doing. Let's see if I can eyeball to some degree. This is quite good right there. Control back from there. Go back to linear, to RCS. I'm gonna go that way a little bit. So really just focusing on the node more than the screen in front of me here. sliding out of position. So we want to go back to linear here. It's fine. That little roll I was doing, we were not prepared for that. In terms of our maneuvering out here. Okay, I was right last time. Sometimes I do have to look at the screen and just see what I'm doing. I'm making an ass of myself. If this thing could just stop wasting monopropellant, it would be actually quite fantastic. Don't know why it's doing this weird, annoying wobbling. Just gonna keep wobbling itself out of position? Okay, that's really quaint. Okay, stop wobbling. No reason to wobble. Some weird Kerbal physics, I guess. Please stop wasting my fuel. So yeah, definitely nose docking is going to have to be the thing. So definitely need some kind of adapter launched to the station, because this docking with the belly is just, oh my god. This is finally looking pretty reasonable, though. Gotta see if there's a way to disable stability on these. Port. TMD. So, oh, port and starboard. Okay. Full action. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just need to turn SAS off when I'm operating it. Yeah, that looks actually kind of like a thing. Yep, turning off SAS helped a ton. There we go. Alright. One step further. We got our transfer vehicle. We figured out why it's not really doing what I wanted it to do. And, yeah, we still have the crew on board doing their science. on the Jeb Station, the Jebediah Kerman Memorial Station. See if this can swing around without just like wobbling itself and everything on it to death. We're now officially further than I got on my 2014 campaign, back when it was just science. Very nice. There's a screenshot for you. Looking good. New contracts that I'm interested in. Alright. Have used a lot of funds on stations lately, haven't we? Let's check on... Outlander's still got a while away. Which means that the Minmus probe has even longer away. Let's check on the... Aha! This might be able to actually finally do its test dock with the Jebediah Kerman Station. Of another docking maneuver. Why not? So this was actually the test craft, although the actual craft ended up making it to the station before it did, because I had such a terrible launch window. So let's see, closer to here. Let's try and line this up. That's pretty good, 0.9 intersect. We're doing the same thing. We're going to be raising our orbit higher than the station, and then trying to recover with a second burn, which, to be honest, not the smartest thing I could do with this craft, because this craft just doesn't have a lot of thrust at all, but we'll try it. Worst case, it'll still prove its ability to re-enter and land is the key thing, although the new one now has 3 of these drogue chutes, thanks to some ground testing I did. Not ground testing, but in atmospheric testing, let's put it that way. 27-second burn. We're going to wait till 14 seconds till the node to start burning. Just tiny and hilariously underpowered engines. Do a little bit of correction there. Perfect. So real intersect is at 0.4 kilometers, and we'll have still a decent amount of matching speed to try and do here. Let's warp there. Oh, I need to figure out how I'm going to get the science for finally picking up the claw as well, so we can start deorbiting some of these capsules that are everywhere. Okay, we have 101 meters a second to target to try and cancel. And a very underpowered engine to try and do that with. Okay, not looking terrible. Actually not looking bad at all. Perfect. We can actually live with this. Coming up rapidly on the space station here. We'll do another docking maneuver. This time, actually, for this craft, it's in reverse, which, well, actually isn't that bad. Doing it in reverse kind of is doable. Not so much for belly ports. I don't know what I was thinking with that one. But yeah, I'll have to figure out a adapter of some kind so that I can dock directly. So I'm going to dock this thing. I'm going to almost immediately undock it. And then I am going to work on deorbiting it. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to run through all the steps that I would be doing on a crewed mission. Making sure that the fuel and the monoprop and everything else, it's all sufficient for a regular mission, and then deorbiting successfully. Actually, right now with our inching pace, I feel like we should have gone maybe just a little faster towards target. Still an inching pace. So this will be the vehicle that gets Kerman to the station on a regular basis, if all goes well. We just saw the craft that's going to be getting Kerman to the moon station from here. Which is now docked to the back here. Cancel our movement so I can aim just a little more accurately at target here. So building all the parts of a full infrastructure here. Now let's not have a Soyuz mirror, or a Progress mirror incident here. So this one should be able to dock on the center ring without any major hassle there. As a backup, it can always dock on the end of the science module, since we left that open. We want this docking port here. If I can select it yet, I don't know if I can. Oh yeah, there we go. Just a little hard to pick it out. There we go. Set as target. Looking good. Be lining ourselves up with it almost perfectly. And the other part of our infrastructure, our reusable moon lander, is on the way to the moon at the moment. Okay, we're now going to control from the rear docking port. We should be able to guide this in. Now this was one that I did find had a very nice RCS control. I had zero problems with this one. I'm still in rotational mode though, so that can be a problem. There we go. Now I can just move in a little bit. A correction there. Much better. This is more like how it should go. We had an odd angle, maybe? Is that what's causing this? A little bit of an angle. Let's decelerate a little bit. Let's switch to rotational. Back to linear. Very nice. Very nice, very easy to control. There we go. We now have 2 crew modules, or 2 crew craft docked. And we have the transport also docked. Plenty of spare fuel tanks and everything else in the station for refueling the transfer vehicle. And these little craft, though, are going to go back. I want to make sure I launch the correct one, which would be this guy with only 2 little drogue chutes. And we're going to undock and simulate a landing presently. So we want enough RCS to get ourselves away from the station. That's a safe distance. Do want to control from the actual core. There we go. Got some good clearance there. Carefully move us out of the way. I like our shadow showing up on the station under there. Alright. So let's see. Where's the KSC? I want to try and recover this maximum funding possible. So maybe like, what about here? I'm going to try and just do a direct descent from 130,000 and just see how dangerous that is to the limited ablator we have on this, and hope for the best. Oop. Just want to mark this all the way to where it would run out of fuel, and that's where we want to. Yes, that's where we want to target. So right there. That's where we want to do our burn. So in 16 minutes, we're going to warp in front of it. I'm going to need to adjust it slightly due to the rotation of Kerbin. So just aim like right there-ish. Based on what I saw. Might need it to be a little less than that. Will also slow as it gets through the atmosphere, so do want to aim a little bit ahead of the Kerbal Space Center anyway, if I want to actually land there. Like right there. Whoop. What I'm going to do give these two also the commands to forward by throttle. Why did that let me time warp so fast? Okay, that's better. Past our usual point because turn RCS on and full throttle on. Now we have the two RCSs working with our main engine to slow us down. On my other test bench craft here, I did find that putting the core under here and then expecting to separate this and then separate parachutes is a dumb idea. And I don't think this is going to survive re-entry, actually. Most likely it is not going to survive re-entry. Because we're going to be not able to separate from this. So I guess I could test the re-entry and not the parachutes. Or I could test the parachutes, not the re-entry, and risk losing the craft. So I'm not really sure on that one, what I'm going to do here. I might just test re-entry and not the parachutes. Because I already tested the parachutes. Accelerating quite a lot though. Yeah, those died out at exactly the same time. That was kind of neat. All right. See how we do. Let's focus on testing re-entry. I'm going to try and line this up all the way until we're getting into the atmosphere. Because I'm going to lose control of the craft as soon as we're in. Because as soon as it starts to hit re-entry, the ionizing plasma will make it so I can't actually communicate with it. What I could do is try and deploy the parachutes with it. It'll probably tear the parachutes. Yep, we're about to lose something. Yep. So there we go. There's a KSC down there. So, yep, we no longer have any control over this craft. Parachutes are probably all toasted. I don't think they deployed. What I want to see is how the ablator handles this. It's actually doing really good. Wow. Huh. The drogue's actually deployed. Oh, the main deployed. Considering I have no control, I guess that's that couldn't have worked out any better. And we're already down to the test speeds where I initially dropped this. It is gonna survive most likely then, but it's gonna hit the water kind of hard. That's why on the newer ones I went ahead and put 3 of these drogue chutes instead of 2, just to try to help a little bit. I know drogues don't really help at slow speeds, but it does give me a little bit of placebo. Wow, this might actually survive. I think we have a successful craft ready for full Kerbal use. Not that I was really too worried about it, because I did already put 3 Kerman in space on the exact same craft minus 1 parachute change. Yeah, this is looking good. Main chute will deploy. Yep, slow down to about 8 meters a second. Yeah, a little over. So it will land safely, but will be a little bit of a harsh landing. Let's see what the G-forces look like on the landing. Actually, not that bad. Well, that is reassuring. I think that might be where I want to end tonight. I think a good note might be good to end on. Did get a little bit of funds back from that test probe. Ooh. Airstream protective shell while orbiting the sun. That's actually probably not that hard. This will give me science. I'm going to take that for later. Alright. No missions that we're not already undertaking. Let's just see how we're doing with all the time warps on our lander transfer over to the moon station. Valentina Kerman moon station. Did we miss our window? No, I'm just looking at the wrong orbit path. I was looking at this orbit path, thinking it belonged to this. I was a little concerned. But still got 4 hours. So yeah, still got a while. Still got a good while. So yeah, I think that is where I'm going to end tonight. That's pretty good. We've got the Jebediah Kerman station fully equipped. We've got the launch vehicle to the station actually very well set up as well. So I can start launching additional crew up onto the station. The transfer vehicle is loaded and is there and ready. And as I said, this lander here is on the way to do the final leg, the moon station to moon surface transit and back. So yeah, this is starting to shape up. A lot of reusable craft here. Well, reusable is the name of the game here. We want as much of this to be usable as possible, and then we'll start hopefully mining for the fuel ourselves. That's a good way to save a bunch of funds. But if you guys want to see how we got to this point, anyone that may have missed it, go ahead and check us out at youtube.com/JediCulturePro for all the old streams that we've done all the way through the month of November when we started, and some other content as well. And with that, I have to say this has been a really good, successful checking of boxes for our supposed moon transfer concept. I'm a happy man. So with that, everyone, have a great night.